pop up.
Yeah, sure. We up and at 'em. We got a crazy day today.
Unfortunately.
It's all right though, cause
It's okay, man. Sorry, we're not gonna crack you out of the head. Okay,
I will.
we're gonna let you. We're gonna let you. I can't say the same for C-Mac though. He waiting for you.
I mean, look, we good.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me just. You want to check our audio? Make sure people hear us. I don't want nobody saying they can't hear us to start thing. Yep, I heard it.
Yeah, we Gucci.
All right, let's go on and get into it. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome to OutSpoken Network. Say what you mean what you say. As always, I am Cordell.
Marqus.
E-Rob.
And what a day it is. What a day, what a day.
Except for everybody.
It is. Well, not for me. I mean, I'm good.
I'm cool.
I mean, you know,
I'm cool.
we're about to have a Super Bowl rematch.
You in good spirits. I like that.
I'm cool. I'm just like I was talking with my brother yesterday too. He's just numb. I was just sitting there and I was just like,
it's Mahomes.
I'm just here. I'm just here. And I'll get into all of that. But love to hear your guys' take. I've been listening to takes left and right about this Bills Chiefs game from every different angle that anybody wants to talk about it. That I've been listening to. But I will say that my mental is very happy today.
Okay.
Because
Mildly surprised.
Okay.
No, because I felt like for the majority of what I have heard today was all in the realm of fair. I didn't hear anything that I'm like, bro, seriously,
like outlandish.
Right. Like I heard a little bit from
who was it? Was it Shannon Sharp?
Unk. Yes. Unk he almost got me riled up, but I was like, all right, I just let it slide.
I mean, to be fair, he's had that same energy for anybody that doesn't win a game.
But it was really just his his wording was what was pissing me off. Because he kept on saying Josh Allen got his butt kicked, and I was like, I'm like, butt kick is what us Commanders get. This was not a butt kick.
But
I was like, there are levels to losing.
He doesn't so. He doesn't think so.
Clearly,
because he was saying the same for Burrow, and it's like the defense was trash. He was just like, Burrow lost.
He was.
I mean, but losing and getting butt kicked.
He says the same. He says the same word.
Well, I know. Then like I saw.
Yeah,
he said
he always
no, he didn't get his butt kicked. Like that's a very hard word to say. And I don't use that in words when someone's getting blown out.
Yeah,
completely bullied and dominating the whole game. That was my only thing. But after a while, I was
like, let it slide.
I let it go. I was like, it's cool. So yeah, for me, that was my biggest worry coming out of last week's game.
Right.
When I was worried about when we played the Ravens, and then when the Bills played this game, I was like, bro, what am I mentally gonna have to prepare to listen to throughout the immediate after and then the entire off season? So I was like, okay, this wasn't this. I thought it was gonna be far worse. So I was like, this is on the realm of what I would say. So I'm okay. That's how I felt.
So who wants to go first?
Well, I mean, I think great game for one.
Right.
Like,
as always.
Right. Always is.
And honestly, at the end of the day, it came down to Mahomes just made more plays than Josh Allen, and that's where it just seems like it always is. It's just make that one extra play.
That's usually the story.
And that's honestly, we're at a point, and we kind of already knew this was going to be the narrative if they didn't win. But can Josh beat Mahomes? Whether it's at home, whether it's on the road, like is this just a guy that he can't beat? Because this is the first time that any quarterback started off 0-4 against another quarterback in the playoffs. So this is, unprecedented territory in terms of the NFL in general. But just, usually you're able to overcome in the NFL.
Correct.
And it seems like this is
which is
somebody that he can't.
Which is something that I have always looked for when it came to Josh Allen, and he can attest. Like I feel if you're at that level where we're comparing you to Mahomes year in and year out, I feel like you may not do it every year, but at certain times you can be able to overcome certain circumstances and pull out a win. Doesn't have to be pretty, doesn't have to be sexy, doesn't have to be high scoring, but if you're at that level, if you're on that pedestal with that guy year in and year out, I feel like you should find a way to win sometimes. Now, I'm not going to put yesterday's loss all on Josh.
No.
There was some questionable play calling from Joe Brady that bothered me. There was some questionable decision making from Sean McDermott that bothered me. I really didn't feel the need to go for 2-point conversions. And you lost by 3. Instead of taking those points, it kind of sort of came back towards the end. And instead of looking for winning it with a touchdown, you actually could have won it with a field goal, which could have changed play calling late. I also had a problem with James Cook not being on the field in the last drive. The man had 13 carries. The man was literally gashing Kansas City every time he touched the ball. Late in the game, he wasn't on the field. I had an issue with that. Not to mention, there were times throughout the game, spread out throughout the game, where reckless Josh was showing up. It wasn't the efficient Josh that we saw all year. It wasn't the efficient Josh that we saw against Baltimore. This was Josh from 2-3 years ago, where it's like, look, a play is to be made out there. I'm going to make it. You don't have to make every single play, Josh. Sometimes you need to take the safer plays to help set up for you to make a possible game-winning play or whatever. Like
Yeah, whether it's like some of the throws that he did, he threw it up, and it could have been a ball,
right,
or the fumbles that he had.
the fumbles
like
on the last play for them, the 4th and 5, he was blitzed, had to make a decision quick. I get it, but he had Shakir out in the flat, wide open, and all he needed to do was get 5 yards. He didn't have to win the game there, but all he needed to do was get 5 yards, keep things moving. So I had some issues all around with Buffalo. However, I will say, even with the mistakes that they made, they only lost by a field goal.
no, it always is.
They only lost by a field goal. Even the issues that I had with them, they only lost by a field goal. I will say this. Now, I don't care who's listening. This also means for someone by the name of C-Mac. That was the first down, okay? That was the first down. That drive should have been kept alive. And who knows what they would have done at the conclusion of that drive. They might have scored. It looked like they were getting ready to score again on that one. The Chiefs benefited from the refs once again. I know some people get tired of hearing it, but they did. They absolutely did. In my opinion, they did. They got some favorable things that went in their way. However, it was still a good game. It was a classic game, as always, between these two teams, between these two quarterbacks. Just Josh came up short again, man. It doesn't look good. It really doesn't. Going forward, what did you see that makes that?
No, I'm getting into this.
Okay.
So I have my notes.
Oh, Jesus. Wow, I didn't
Okay.
know we were doing
Oh
notes.
no, because this team has failed Josh Allen,
Oh, my.
and I'm over it.
Oh, wow.
I'm over it.
Team has failed.
Like even my wife asked me, so should Josh ask for a trade? And I
Oh.
said to her, I would be heartbroken if he did,
Oh,
but I understand.
oh.
Okay, well, let's
I would be heartbroken if he did,
Wasn't expecting that.
but I understand.
count the ways. That's
Because to me, when I go through these things, this is stuff that I have said at some point throughout the season of my issues with this team, and they all came up in this game.
So hold on, but before we go, to be fair, you also said you didn't have.
He's got a list.
Hold on, but you also said you didn't have expectations
I didn't.
for this team.
And this is why. And all of these things came up. Yes.
So that should be understandable.
That's why I'm cool today. Like that's why I'm not like, oh my goodness. Like
I mean,
I'm like this.
I don't know. I just felt like it was strong. He said that Josh Allen, like the team failed him. I'm like, dog, like,
keep this energy throughout the entire offseason, and then depending on what they do, I will have this energy next season too.
okay, I will lay it down.
So, to your point, with the two
2-point conversions,
the two attempts at 2-point conversions,
right?
In this game, both teams put up 4 TDs and 1 field goal. Both teams did. But the decision making on one was to kick an extra point every time. The decision making on the other was we're going to try these 2-point conversions 2 times. And now you lose by 3. Even though you guys literally put up the same offense production.
Real quick,
Points-wise.
to that, also the short yardage situations for both teams, how those plays were executed. For Buffalo, it was literally sneak Josh. For the Chiefs, it was bootleg Mahomes out to the perimeter to just get 3 yards and a first down.
So
that bothered me too.
With the tush push,
which I mean, it has been pretty effective this whole season.
But because I hear people, I hear you. I'm gonna get into the negatives, but with the tush push, my only negative with the tush push is really y'all can only do it to one side.
Oh, the left side.
That is my only issue.
Justin figured that out.
That was my only issue because when I look at it statistically, Bills this year were 20 of 21 when they went on the tush push.
It's pretty good,
right?
Yeah.
In this game though, they were 2 of 5. These 3 tush push stops. That's the most 2017.
2 point, the 2 conversions, and the 4th one that they didn't get.
That's 3. That is the most QB sneaks that have been stopped in the games 2017. The Chiefs since 2022 given up 32 consecutive. In this game, they did it 3 times. Since 2022.
Man, this man did his research.
Hey, look.
2 consecutive QB sneaks for conversions. In this game, they made 3 stops. And I'm sitting there every time. I'm like, Josh, you're going to do it to the right now, right? And you're going to do it to the right now, right? I don't understand. I would have to be in that room. Like, are we saying that the right guard isn't good enough for us to go in that area? Like, why can we not? It's not like Josh is carrying the ball on his left hand. He's holding it with 2 hands every time. So it shouldn't matter which way he goes. Unless you're telling me the right side of my line is weaker than the left side of my line.
Again, it was because it was pointed out earlier. I think it was on the first one. Justin Reed, he caught the snap count over the tight end. He did a swim move over the tight end to get through that particular gap because he timed it. So for you to point that out, I'm pretty sure Spags pointed that out.
They probably had film work all weekend. Like, hey, left side. Like we go. They put a minute Hughes. They put a minute Hughes, but they put all their good defensive linemen on the left
side. Yeah.
So, and I'm like, why can't we do this to the right? So that just bothers me in general. But I don't have a problem with you doing the tush push. It's just the fact that you can only do it to one side. That's literally like a basketball player who ain't got no left hand, and we always complain, dog, we know you're going to go right because you don't have a left. Or you have a left.
They said it was working.
RJ Barrett and Randall, right? They got a left. We know you're not going to go right.
He ain't going to put the ball on the floor.
Hey, look, it worked to the playoffs.
And that's exactly what it was. Like, it worked until you can't because you saw the issues even against the Ravens.
Yeah.
The issues.
Right.
Speaking of the Ravens, last week, after they won the game, I said, hey, bro, this defense, they ain't get no stops besides turnovers. And they was like, but a turnover is a stop. I get it. But they can't actually get somebody off the field if they're like not giving the ball up. In this game, they made Mahomes punt twice. That's more than they made him punt last time. So I guess it's an improvement.
Yeah.
But that's kind of crazy to say that making somebody punt 2 times is an achievement. Third down defense, they are 29 this year.
Jesus.
Allowing 44.1%. They've given up 356 first downs.
God damn.
That is 4th most in the league this year. In this game, Mahomes went 5 of 9. That's 56%, which is 12% more than what they naturally
Well, you had nothing but time on your hands today.
Yeah.
Let's do these.
He said, I got something today.
All right? Because I told you that the defense has been the thing that has bothered me the most. And you can blame it on whichever way you blame it. You want to blame it on pass rush, you want to blame it on coverage, you want to blame it on the play calls. You want to blame it on injury because they didn't have Telegraph, they didn't have Bedford for this game. Sure.
Poor
and
Elam.
the Denver thing killed
Yeah, Denver,
me.
yeah,
Poor
he had a
Elam.
concussion.
I told y'all about Elam.
Poor
for
Elam.
years.
Elam
Hey,
was
man, I
just-
said it, okay? I said, okay, he's
Elam,
not that good.
Elam was just, boy, oh my God.
So,
Blood in the water.
but either
Look.
way, even with the team fully healthy, you see what the numbers were on third down. They cannot get people off the field. That's a problem. They're also 23rd in EPA defending the pass. They let Mahomes this game go 67.7% success rate when dropping back, which is a career high. Career high. You let that man go.
Mm.
So I'm sitting here and I'm like, yep, the defense that I'm concerned with, that all blossomed right here in this game.
Where's the pass rush?
Hey, they did something though.
Yeah, they did.
Get right. And I was
Yeah,
like, more than that last game.
Remember, it was with the. It was also with the. but also had the strip sack, right?
No.
Oh no.
No.
Mahomes just fumbled.
He
him.
just
Yeah,
fumbled
yeah.
it.
He just lost.
And they got it back.
The pass rush was nowhere to be found.
And you and me had the conversation. You can't get to this
They
man
would get
again.
pressure, but they just couldn't get him on
Can't
the
get on
ground.
the ground.
They can't
So
get
it don't
him on the
matter.
ground,
I don't
yeah.
give a damn. Unless it's going to lead to some sort of negative play, but Mahomes wasn't giving you any negative plays.
Nope.
The only close negative play you had, you couldn't get.
Pressures
Xavier Worthy got that.
don't matter
Yeah.
against Patrick Mahomes.
Right. So, and I sit here again, and that leads me to the next thing. I understand. This in no particular way is me bringing down Mahomes at all.
Okay. All
He
right.
is
Let's
great.
see what he about to
The
say.
disclaimer.
No, because Mahomes is great.
He said Mahomes wasn't Josh be the best quarterback ever.
Well, I do agree with that. I wasn't gonna say that,
He's got a
but I
point.
do.
I might agree with him on that.
But my whole thing with Mahomes makes more plays than Josh. Like, to me, when I go into these games, I've never felt like Mahomes did more or outdid Josh, nor did I feel like Josh did more or outdid Mahomes. I always felt like both of them were always equal in the plays that they made,
Mhm.
but for some reason,
Mhm.
the Bills is like Josh is giving the invitation for someone to be great with him.
Yes.
And everybody is receiving it, and then they're marking decline.
Yes.
And Mahomes is like, I'm giving you the invitation, and they're saying, accepted. Willingly accepted. Every time he needs somebody to make a play with him, like, and it's throughout history, right? Like, quarterbacks will throw up a play. You can go to all the way to the Giants, the helmet catch, right? Like, somebody
Didn't
made
say
a play.
this last week.
Right? Somebody made a play. Right?
Didn't say this last week.
Right. Even the what's this Manningham's catch,
Yeah.
right? Like, that's a dime by Manning.
Even
but it
Julian
needs-
Edelman against the Falcons in the Super
It
Bowl.
needed to be caught.
Mhm.
And I'm like, last year, Josh threw the dime like Eli Manning did, and Diggs didn't catch it like Manningham did. And that's the end of it. I'm like, every time they needed, Marcus Valdez-Scantling was that guy last year for them.
Yeah,
This
against
year is Worthy. I'm like, they are, I don't know what it is.
Well, you had
The
Matt.
Bills are allergic. Thank you. I was getting there. How Mac Allen is the only one who accepted the invitation to be great in this game.
No,
James Cook.
Shakir too?
Shakir did fine, but he didn't. There wasn't anything that like there wasn't a play that was like, oh, that was big time. That you like.
No,
No, there wasn't anything like that. He was productive,
it wasn't.
but he didn't have anything big time. Mac Allen was the only one who had something big time in James.
Kincaid definitely didn't show up.
And now I'm hearing he's got a torn PCL, whatever. I don't give a damn. That ain't got nothing to do with your hands.
Forgot Keon's on the field.
Which
Well, not. Keon was mostly with Trent McDuffie. He wasn't getting nothing.
But hey, Mac Hollins did.
Mac Hollins caught a touchdown.
That
See,
yeah, that was the perfect pass, and he caught it. Yeah,
The call for being great. And
but you don't get a lot of those. Let's be real.
No, there aren't a lot of them in the game. But for some
We're
reason,
talking about on McDuffie in general.
okay.
Like you don't get
But-
people don't get a lot of those.
But
So I'm not.
because again, it comes back down to it, and this is the world that we live in, where the quarterback either gets all the blame, or they get all of the credit.
Right.
So I get it. So that's why Mahomes. We're gonna say Mahomes. When it came time to Mahomes made the plays, I'm like, no, Mahomes and somebody accepted the invitation.
So are we giving? Hold on. So hold on. Are we giving the blame to Josh?
No, I'm not.
I say that. Oh,
Because
that.
you said that we live in a world where the quarterback
Well,
all the
That's what everybody's going to say.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I'm asking.
No,
are we giving all the blame to
we're
Josh?
here. Not no.
That's why I'm happy that when I turned on my television all day today, that was not the case. That's what I was prepared for. But I did hear a lot of what you were saying, where it's like, Josh isn't making the plays. He makes plays, and I'm like, but for some reason those guys just know how to make plays.
A Chiefs fan that we all know, stated that the Chiefs were the best team on the field yesterday. And to be honest with you,
They were the better team.
I don't know if I agree with that fully. Especially when you look at the numbers, there wasn't a bunch of disparity between both teams.
Correct.
The Chiefs averaged 5.5 yards per play. The Bills averaged 5.8 yards per play. The Bills have more total yards and one less drive. They were
turnover.
They had no turnovers. So I'm not going to sit here and look at that and look at the game and say, yeah, the Chiefs were just head and shoulders the better team. I'm looking at it as when it was time to make play, One team execute better than the other.
That's why the
That's why
Chiefs
they're
are the
the
better
better
team,
team.
because when
I agree.
we have seen it through the past 5 years, basically,
I don't
where
think that always makes you the better team.
yes, it does, because when the
So
plays,
like you just said, the Giants Super Bowls.
yeah, they were the better
They
team
were the
that
better
day.
team that day.
That day, they were the better team.
So, for example, prime example,
Because the Patriots obviously didn't making the plays.
to me,
So
like prime example, even if I go back to the Bills Ravens, the Ravens are a better team than the Bills, but on that day, the Bills were a better team.
Yeah.
They made the plays and they avoided the plays that they needed to avoid in order to win that game. And Chiefs, that's what they did. They
the
made
Chiefs
the
do this
plays
religiously.
and they do it religiously. And I don't understand why my team is allergic to doing this.
Hold on,
with Josh.
but this is the reason. This is the reason why I feel like it's one of those things where you get so caught up in like, but I have to make this play. I have to make this play. Because you've been through this so many times of we're losing to this guy
You can see it
that it makes people clinch up.
You can see
they
it. You
just
can see it in Josh. You can see it in Josh. You can
Yeah,
also
like,
see it. The play call is wrong, in my opinion. I felt like
whether it's guys trying to catch the ball, whether it's guys trying to block, whether it's guys trying to make plays on defense, like it just always gets to a point where it's like, dog, bro, I let that happen.
I felt like on that last Bills drive, remember we got the ball back for minutes. I felt like there was some rush to it when it didn't necessarily have to be.
Because they knew that was supposed to be the moment.
Which understandably,
it's the
but
moment.
It felt like a team that was frantic, a team that felt like we got to score a touchdown on this drive or else.
No, well they did.
But they did. But you have 4 minutes.
The thing is, they couldn't get a field goal to do that.
It wasn't about getting a field goal, in my opinion.
No, but I'm just saying, like,
Their
their mindset is we have to get a touchdown.
That's fine. That's okay.
But that's what makes you clinch up even more.
But that's where I step in and say, first play of the drive, you're going 4 wide. I'm running the football. I have 4 minutes on the clock. James is
putting it
performing
in
well.
Josh's hand. That's
fine.
Exactly what it is.
That's what it is. You
They're
put it
putting
in Josh's hand.
They're not putting it in James's. No offense to Cook, but they're not.
But that's what we're, like when we talk about quarterbacks making that drive. Like that's what we.
That's the scenario.
That's
it.
Scenario. That's it. Like when we do whether it was with Joe Burrow when the Bengals went against the Rams and he had that last drive,
but
even Aaron Donald ended up making the game saving play, but they put it in Burrow's hands.
Even in that case, yes, on the Chiefs' final drive, put it in Mahomes' hands. But the 2 biggest plays on that last drive were dump offs to P. Ryan and Pacheco.
But he still threw it.
No, but I'm saying, well, why not incorporate James in this? I wanted James to touch the ball on last drive.
For sure. Like you could definitely say that, and that's like a legit thing. Because at the end of the day, get the ball playmakers' hands.
That's it.
So it's like whatever you have to do that.
My issue is that in this game, if I was Josh, I would have tried, even though I'm still having to trust Kincaid to make this catch, versus I can I could throw it to somebody behind the line of scrimmage and just hope he can get the 5 yards. In this drive, throughout this drive, all my playmakers be coming up 1 yard short. And we got to keep on going to the switch. Why? Because every time I get the ball in someone's hand, they keep coming up
on
short.
that particular drive.
I know that.
Shakir was 1-on-1 with Mike Dana, who's a defensive lineman, 4th and 5. You ain't got to score a touchdown on this. You don't. Just give me 6.
Yeah, but he couldn't get to him. That's the thing.
Why?
That pressure.
He didn't even look that way.
That's it. But the thing is, as soon as the pressure's in his face, bro, everything else
he blacked out.
Yeah, bro.
I don't think he blacked out. Everything moves faster at that point.
Yeah, for sure.
He knew I'm on the right side right now, and I have to either throw it here or throw it here.
He's throwing
it here.
Like that's why I say
he ain't even throwing it here. It's throwing it all right down there.
I think that it was I think more of a great defensive play call.
Yes.
Because without that pressure, they get the first down.
Probably so.
Because I'm like, without that pressure, he probably does either look back to Shakir or makes it to where he extends the play to where somebody else.
Well, Kincaid was open, so honestly.
Well, I mean, but
Kincaid,
he
made the right he didn't make an easy play, but he made a play that was
catchable.
It was catchable, and he was open.
He threw a mirror off his back foot.
He knew
he chucked that thing
to him.
He knew where Kincaid was.
He knew where.
At the end of the day, it's still a Hail Mary because he's just like, I don't know if
his feet wasn't set at all.
but I'm just gonna throw it in this vicinity
His feet
and hope he
wasn't
can
at
come
Oh
back.
no, that part I agree
No,
with,
but
I think he did it intentionally. I don't think he just
he was getting
tossed that thing.
he was getting
Kincaid
hit
still
from
come back and get it.
Yeah.
He knew Kincaid that he was gonna be in that vicinity.
right.
And that's why Kincaid had to come back to it because obviously it's not the perfect pass. He rolled back, but he just knew by no Kincaid's over there and he's one on
He
one.
was also
I'm
getting
gonna give
hit.
him a chance.
He was also getting hit by Karlaftis.
Yeah, for
Letting
sure,
go.
for sure.
So it wasn't a clean throw, but he muscled it up enough to get down there. It's just
This is why I said, last week that as good of quarterbacks can be at the last drive, no matter what, there's always a playmaker that makes a play.
Yes.
Like as many
Amendola.
last drives as we've seen in NFL history, whether it's been Big Ben Roethlisberger, it's Antonio Holmes in the back of the end zone.
Somebody's got to be
somebody
receiving the
made
greatness. Somebody needs to receive the greatness.
last thought. What's the first thing or the biggest thing you want to see the Bills do this offseason?
Oof, that's tough because they need to fix the defense, but they also need a vertical game offensively. They cannot.
Yeah, I say wide receiver.
I wouldn't be opposed to wide receiver. I just don't believe in them in doing it. I think they're gonna go defense. You said what?
None.
Because Diggs ain't coming back.
I know he ain't coming back. I'm just
He
saying.
ain't coming back.
That's what you need. Oh, you had that.
But they need a vertical game. They do need a vertical game besides Mac Hollins.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. They need someone else besides Mac Hollins.
I think if I was them, I think Sean McDermott does well enough with the defense at the very least in the regular season to where let's beef up the offense to where let's just outscore.
No, I can't keep watching my defense just put up pressure and still get
But okay, think about it like this: as many guys as y'all have drafted for defense, as many investments have you put into defense?
Are you talking about high draft picks or just general?
And high draft picks and in general, because I think high draft picks is mostly defense, correct?
We had the linebacker. I can't remember his name right now. He's with the Bears now. Edmund, Oliver, Russo, Elam.
Trey White.
Trey was his very first
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
So yeah, most of your first round picks, probably second
First,
round
second round.
have been defense. So I'm saying, as much as you have invested into defense, why not just say, hey, look, obviously this isn't helping us win these football games because they're not making plays. So let's just get guys that are just good with the system, like the Benfords and stuff, that you can say, okay, they were a later pick, but they're good for what we can do.
Yeah.
Bolster up the offense to where now we have those explosive guys on offense.
Because at the end of the day, because
that's what I'm saying.
Because
That's what I'm saying.
at the end of the day,
you start drafting guys on offense,
because at the end of the day, you're still going to have to go through that gauntlet in the AFC of quarterbacks. So you're going to need. You're not going to need a number one shutdown defense, but you're going to need something on that side of the ball.
Yeah, but the thing is,
to just get you a couple.
I think their scheme gives you that.
But
for the most
they
part.
beat the scheme every time.
Every time.
They don't.
The Ravens beat the scheme. They just didn't get out of their own way. And the Bills are an opportunistic defense. So if you're not going to get out your own way, then by all means, we'll take that from you.
Right.
It's the same thing with the Chiefs. Like if you're going to get in your own way, we'll go ahead and take that from you.
I don't.
The turnover.
I don't know.
Okay, but all I'm saying is all the talent you've already invested in the defense. Like, what is? If you're gonna just keep doing that
until you
get it right.
Yeah, until
you get it right.
actually hit the people. Like,
you got to do it until you
people
right.
that hit on them. You just hit on them.
You just didn't hit on them. Right?
The Eagles hit on them. And Bills could have got some of the guys that they got, but they decided.
I feel like y'all hit on guys. Y'all hit on Russo. You hit on Ed Oliver.
No, Jalen Carter Russo.
It's just
I'm saying y'all weren't in position to get it. Jalen Carter was the 10th pick.
Was it
Nolan Smith was
here's
but I'm saying y'all weren't in position for this. The Eagles had that because they got somebody else.
It's the same way. It's the same way that you kind of sort of have an outlook for the Bengals, right? You see a team that's loaded on offense, but you also see a team that tried time and time again to add assets on defense and just didn't pan out. Do you suggest that the Bengals continue to add on offense? Or are you like, man, you guys got to do something on the defensive side of the ball?
But I've seen it work for them already because they've been to a Super Bowl. Why? Because they loaded up on offense. They made a few key free agent acquisitions on defense, and it helped them get to a Super Bowl.
But we've also seen an electric Josh Allen-led offense get to multiple title games. I'm like, as
the
some
defense
He's
lets
been
them.
defense
he's
does
been
let
to
them
two
down.
AFC title games in like 6 years.
In all these losses,
But I'm saying
the defense.
they're giving up
okay,
big points.
Yes.
but what I'm saying is, even with the Bengals, is they gave up points to the Chiefs and when they beat them, but the offense did enough.
They held y'all to
Turnovers.
10, didn't they?
Oh no, you're talking about against the Chiefs.
No,
He did
the
hold us to
Chiefs.
10.
No, I'm
Yes,
talking about in the AFC
in the
Championship when they
championship
beat the
game, they
Chiefs.
also got multiple turnovers.
Yeah, which is what y'all could do. Y'all just
No,
don't do against the
No, they
Chiefs.
can't.
This was the first turnover they've gotten on him
No,
in the playoffs.
okay, no, but that
no, that's not a regular.
no,
This is,
no.
and they need Mahomes. They need Mahomes to just drop the ball with his guy in order to
make the turnover.
But what I'm saying is it is a possibility to do so. Y'all just haven't been able to do it.
So why should I believe that they are going to be able to do it with this team? Because
That's
ain't happening. He's
What-
having the best
which
this
is
season.
why I said if you can't just go and bolster up the offense to just try to outscore. You gotta keep trying, but if you're saying he keeps failing, then what's
Personally, having a guy like Benford is an asset. I
think
truly
Benford
and
is a
I
top
and,
corner in the league.
and think having a guy like Taylor Rapp might have helped him yesterday. But I do,
Jamar freaking
I
hands,
do.
boy, can he go?
Jesus Christ, I do think they miss or they don't have that true ball hawk safety that can because the luxury that they had of having Poyer and Hyde back there, like
they're not gonna have that.
they're not going to have that. You saw those guys be able to close out games at times and make important plays. Not to say Rapp can't do it, but I think Rapp is a notch below what those guys were able to bring to the defense. So I think if there's one spot on the defense where I'm like, oh, they need to add something there, it could be Cole Bishop. He was a rookie this year. It could be him. But I feel like, man, what their scheme requires, they need that guy at safety that can make.
I don't know if they're going to draft another safety. They may draft another corner.
But
Will
damn.
Douglas is
I'm not saying
Maybe,
but
they may not draft another safety.
I would do Watts and Notre Dame.
Yes, but they may not draft another safety.
I think it's going to go corner.
But I'd be damned if they put DeMorak out there because he ain't doing nothing.
Fine, this regular.
No.
Like,
no.
I will say this, he had himself a good game against the Ravens, but the Chiefs,
No.
they said you're gonna line him up on Kelsey.
They put him on Worthy. That's how Worthy scored.
Worthy.
They put him on Worthy. They put him on Kelsey.
No, but Kelsey didn't do anything.
No, he got the holding calls on him with Kelsey. And I'm not gonna say because.
I thought it was 2.
Nah, it was only 1.
But
for him, it was only 1.
Either way, you saw the mismatch. When 15 saw who DeMar was on, I'm going there.
All right, I don't care if it was Cole Bishop or
they brought Cole Bishop in
I'm about to
for Kelsey, but he's not ready yet, and I'm fine with that. In this game,
Poor Kyer was getting picked on.
These are the
Nobody
misses.
knows.
These are the misses. And my brother believes that they actually probably didn't want Kyrie Irving. He believes that they wanted Trent McDuffie, but the Chiefs got him.
Yeah,
not again.
No, they traded up one. We didn't trade with the Chiefs.
Man, the Chiefs are just to the punch.
No, I can't say that they're beating us to the punch.
They gave
We
him
gave away
Worthy.
2 times, and they beat us to the punch on McDuffie.
Yeah, they gave him
They
Mahomes,
gave away
and they
Mahomes
gave
and
away Worthy.
But like even still, like Keon Coleman, you could have had Keon Coleman, or you could have got Ladd McConkey. Like these are the picks that I'm sitting here, and I'm like,
Yeah, because Devin Ladd is better than Keon.
Ladd would have been a vertical threat for you, now wouldn't he? Like
No vertical, but Ladd would have been.
He's more of an intermediate short guy. Like he doesn't really do like the fade and stuff.
No.
But he can get you yards to catch.
He and Khalil are kind of sort of the same receiver, but it was just the fact that you can have someone at the
Ladd is more
intermediate
closer.
level while still have Khalil's ability behind line of scrimmage because that's who he targets a lot behind the line of scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
So you have those options on the field.
Wide receiver 1.
Who?
Khalil, man. I've been trying to tell him.
Oh yeah, I was trying to tell him.
I tried to tell him, but he won't believe me.
No,
he's not a 1. But it's all good.
He won on this team.
Unfortunately.
Who your number 1, Matt?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Mac, if he makes plays,
No, he ain't.
Mac is welcome back on the team.
No,
I'll tell you that right now.
yeah, because
That
nobody
when Josh
else,
sends an invitation, he
because
will accept.
nobody else in this league wants that nutcase. You right? Y'all can keep
I'll take it because he accepts the invitation of
showing up
being
to the
great.
game barefoot and a wild animal. I told you, when he was in high school. Okay, his classrooms was in the trailers.
No, he didn't. Well, the whole barefoot thing, he didn't start doing that until after whatever.
He did that with
injury.
us.
No, but he didn't start doing it until they said it was after some sort of injury, and a part of his therapy and recovery was that it helped him with it, and then since then he just
Man, this Negro was at
That's what
training
he
camp.
said.
Negro was at training camp barefoot.
Yeah,
Like, if you don't put the damn
he's
shoe
one
on,
with the earth, man.
Yeah,
But
you want it all.
let's go ahead and go on to the NFCs. Or do you guys want to talk Chiefs? Sorry, we did a lot of Bills talk. Is there anything you guys want to say about the Chiefs?
No.
Three-peat.
No.
I mean, hey, look, they made history. Best
No,
dynasty
man.
ever.
I don't want
And honestly, even if they don't win this game in the Super Bowl, I still think they're the best dynasty.
I'm scared.
But
I'll be honest. I'm tired.
we'll see.
Somebody else playing.
Oh no, because the dynasty is 3 and 4 years. Is that correct?
Yes.
So they do not have 3 and 4 years.
Yeah, they do.
Do they have 3 and 4 years?
Technically, yes.
When was the first one? They only have 3 right now, right? So when was the
Oh,
first
I
one?
guess no, 3 and 5 years.
3 5 years.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
So it'll be 4.
But by in terms of
But 4 and 6 years with 3 straight is.
I mean, yeah, they would.
that's
But I'm just saying, even if they don't, the fact that they went 2 straight and then got to another Super Bowl, something that nobody has even done,
Mhm.
and the fact that they've been to 5 of the last 7 Super Bowls, it's like, bro, that's crazy. In terms of wins in a 7-year span, like they have the most.
But I'm ready to see somebody else.
Josh Allen has the most playoff wins with no Super Bowl appearances. Man deserve better. I'm telling you. These Bills.
Maybe he's got to be better.
See, this is what I'm saying. This is when you trigger. Like, I almost immediately just jumped out because I'm like, I don't know what else you want him to do.
They just got to make the last play.
I feel, again, no disrespect to Mahomes, but if Mahomes was the Bills, he would have never seen a Super Bowl.
You don't think so?
Nope. Because nobody's gonna make a play for him.
Nah,
Nobody's gonna make a play. Nobody on that team is gonna make a play for him. I give up on this team. This is me taking a shot at the Bills, not Mahomes. Nobody is making a play.
But maybe it's just the quarterback mentality that everybody's like, dog, we got this guy. We can do anything.
Somebody make.
Somebody now all of a sudden nobody on this Bills team has done it in 2 years.
Let's go to the.
I think
Diggs is gonna catch that second bomb because Mahomes
to be fair, did we not say this last season when we were like, dog, but they ain't catching nothing. Then all of a sudden the playoffs happen and they catching everything.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
It's Mahomes.
Yep. Tyler Batley actually got that field goal.
Like honestly,
you guys aren't giving me any logic to it.
I gotta do this.
It's just Mahomes.
I gotta do this for Patrick.
Because think about it like
I need logic. You can't just
the logic.
They're making plays.
Hold on, the logic is they literally weren't making plays in the regular season.
I understand.
And then the playoffs came and they were making plays.
I understand that. And the Bills are the opposite. They're making plays in the regular season, and then when the postseason comes, all those guys are allergic to plays.
It must be Mahomes.
And so you're saying that Mahomes would just miraculously
fix
all of those plays?
It must be.
I don't
think about it. Think about it. With Alex Smith, was they doing this with Alex Smith?
They didn't have all these plays as Alex Smith.
They didn't need all these plays. See, I mean, technically, they had Tyreek Hill.
He did have Tyreek.
No, I know, but they didn't. Are you talking about this Chiefs team? Because they didn't have this defense. There's one thing.
Well, no, but we're talking about the offense making plays, right?
Mahomes.
No, I'm talking plays in general.
Mahomes didn't have this defense early.
The offense is making plays to win the games.
This is true. They just said that the play call. You really just said a second ago about the play call that the defense made to get that blitz in. So that's not making a play.
No, but the offense they sealed it. They made catches, correct?
I'm saying this team, the Bills team as a whole,
like
isn't like offensively, defensively.
I'm saying offense. I'm just talking about offense. Defense is a whole other thing.
All of it. None of them are making the plays. Chris Jones last year put enough pressure on Josh Allen to make that an accurate throw. Like they make plays. Ed Oliver, where are you? Greg Rousseau, where
hold
are you?
on. We did talk about y'all can get pressure, you just don't get home.
No. Well, yeah, they're getting, but when they get pressure on him, but it's not enough to affect anything. So I said, if you get pressure on him,
I don't know, man. He was
to a negative play.
It's like, but they just shit, man.
Okay, so what?
It's Mahomes.
Oh my God!
Hey man, it's like Brady. It's like I don't care where he go, man. He gonna win something.
Eagles Commanders.
Oh man,
Eagles Commanders.
Hey man, shout out Jalen Hurts. Shout out Saquon Barkley, and shout out that defense. So those are three things, and it's the reason why they won last night. I think sure the defense with the turnovers they did. I mean, golly, like
getting
four turnovers,
getting
and you didn't like commit to one yourself. That's crazy in itself. I think the way they played Jay Daniels was the best way you could play him, which is to make him have to go like slowly, methodically down the field and no explosive plays. Like other than the one they gave up to Terry McLaurin, there really wasn't any explosive plays that they led up for that team. And then also just Jalen Hurts, when Saquon got going early and the Commanders had to focus solely on Saquon, Jalen Hurts made the throws that were pretty much a lot of perfect throws that he was making that I think really helped get the game away. Because at the end of the day, Commanders couldn't stop anything.
so get 55 hung on your head in the NFC title game.
Hey man, shout out to three, man.
That's-
You know,
They weren't in this class.
yeah, they weren't.
sad.
And we knew this going in that
We
they were.
did.
Well, yeah,
We
but
did.
not.
I was only nervous because it was a division game.
But to see him
after
get,
seeing the first play, I was like, all right, well.
but to see him get,
Yeah, look.
to see him get beat by what, 32? That's if the both of these matchups came down to one game, to one score, I believe. And at least the last one.
Yeah,
the last one,
but the first one, no. The first one I think was a two
It
score.
was a 2-score game. Okay, well,
So with Hurts out there, it's been 2-score plus.
Yeah. They were up 21-7.
but Kenny Pickett didn't really play that bad in that last.
No, he played bad in the second half. That's what really killed it because they couldn't move the ball more.
I mean, that defense was also able. And you go back to that game. That was one of the few games of the year where Jaden did have multiple turnovers. He had 2 picks in that game. He threw for 5. He threw for 5 touchdowns. I get it.
No. I'm
But
just
that
saying
was-
the whole team had 5 turnovers. Remember that?
Well, yeah, right. But that was that was definitely something that Vic Fangio and that defense wanted to emulate again this time around, which they were able to do. You know, the turnovers were critical for them. Coming into the game, we also knew how when it came to the Commanders, their run defense, we just knew how it was, how average it was overall. They didn't necessarily get gashed by Saquon. He didn't. I mean, he had 3 touchdowns, but I think he only.
But 118 yards is still.
Yeah, but half of them came on one play.
I mean, yeah, they didn't really run the ball with him like that anymore.
They didn't, but that's well
because they just passed it with Jim.
They really. But see, that's the thing, though. The Commanders came into that game saying, "We're not going to let Saquon murder us," and yet they still gave up 55, which is wild. We're going to take away your best player offensively, or we're going to try to neutralize your best player offensively, and we still give up 50 points.
I mean, that just goes to show how deep the Eagles are on offense in terms of playmakers. Like AJ Brown was making plays, Goddard making plays, like Devontae Smith making plays. Like and it's the only reason why I believe that the Eagles have a chance at beating the Chiefs.
Absolutely,
is because if you take away Saquon and you have the receivers one-on-one with the corners, bro, somebody can win a match.
But what you need to do to take away Saquon, it is going to lead the one-on-ones.
Yeah,
I don't think Commanders are necessarily stacking the box to say we're going to put not 8 or 9 up here and we're going to neutralize the run. I think they just played more heavy fronts, but it still left.
Like it leaves opening.
It left Benjamin St. Jude's one-on-one with AJ Brown. Like, we're going to take
Goddard on a linebacker.
On a linebacker, we're going to take that every day of the week. So, so situations where obviously they wanted to make sure that Saquon did not kill him. It didn't get off to a great start, I'll say that. At the end, the very first carry went for 60 touchdown. I'm like, oh, this might be a record-setting day for Saquon. But they kind of sort of had they're back to reality moment a little bit. Like this is still a team as good of a season as Washington had, as great of a player that we think Jaden Daniels will be. I think yesterday was a testament of how far they still need to go, to be honest with you.
For sure.
Like this is a team that still needs to shore up several spots on this team in order to really view them as a legitimate Super Bowl contender going forward.
Yeah, I think next year, I think they will probably be a top 4 team in the NFC, like projection wise. That the Commanders.
I mean,
Because well,
honestly, that's
the reason why I say so is because like obviously you have the Eagles and the Lions will still be the biggest contenders.
right.
Probably the Packers will probably be in that
But in
third
order
or
for
fourth
them to
spot.
be a top 4, you might as well say that they're going to win the division. Are you going to go out?
Because
No, you got the Eagles.
yeah,
the
they have the
second
Eagles.
best,
That's what I'm
first or
saying. Well,
second.
they're not going to be a top.
No. I'm just talking about in terms
No,
of when
no,
we talk about
he's-
the top 4 teams, like the
Oh,
best
just
teams.
overall,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
the seeding.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, cool.
because not only have they, done what they did this year, but they also have the free agency money to spend
Got 90
and
mil.
hopefully get even better players
Got 90 mil.
in the offseason. But it's like you still have to. They know they still have to match the Eagles.
Yes.
You still have to match even the Lions, who they just beat.
Right.
But we know if the Lions fully healthy with the defense
might have
and
been
their
a
offense,
different
like it could be a different story.
Right.
So it's like they still have to go through. Okay, like where can we get better? Where can we improve to try and get that level
Yeah.
of playing those type of teams?
Right. And the Eagles, they were just they're
Maybe even the Niners make a comeback.
they're a tough team.
Niners and
Man.
Rams will probably. I was thinking about.
Well, it depends on if Stafford comes back.
I think
Yeah.
he's gonna come back.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah, Eagles, man, Eagles got themselves a really good team that can give Kansas City some fits. And I know a lot of attention is on Saquon, but man, defensive line, Jalen Carter, how he's been looking in the playoffs, and you actually got a Jordan Davis sighting as well. He was able to get
But he got a sack. I
he
was
got a
like,
sack. Like,
Jordan
okay,
Davis
we
has
know
something.
things are
I said,
going
big
wrong.
man.
Right. So it's one of those things. I think a lot of people are going to be looking at just the offensive side of the ball going into the Super Bowl. But man, I'm telling you, a legitimate X factor to me is which defensive line can be consistent in their pressure and truly wreck the tone and the rhythm of the opposing offense, because both of these defensive lines are talented enough to do so, especially on the interior.
Yeah, and I say so. Last thing for me is shout out to Burks, that linebacker that replaced N'Kobe Dean,
Owen Burks,
because he definitely came in and made plays.
Zach Bond.
And then Zach Bond being like him having the season that he's had is like so unbelievable, because I'm like he was a no name guy, went from a no name guy to first team All Pro. Like
If it wasn't for
crazy.
Saquon, if it wasn't Saquon, you wanted to name Zach Bond as the MVP of that team, I wouldn't have an issue with it, honestly.
Because honestly, he's made
He's been that good on their own.
and to Howie Roseman and how we talked about with the Georgia guys,
Right.
and how last year like they were pretty much non-existent.
Right.
And you're like, dog, all these draft picks from this great defense,
Right.
and ain't none of them panning out.
Right.
Kobe Dean was panning out this year.
He got hurt.
Nolan Smith's coming on crazy at the end of the year.
Yep.
Obviously, like Jalen Carter was already kind of good last year, but now he stepped it up. Jordan Davis being better than he was. I'm like, these guys are actually starting to actually pan out than what people thought they were.
Yeah, just wait for Keely.
Hey, I don't think he's gonna make it. But
Also, man, their safety ability on the back end, man. Cooper DeJean, Reed Blankenship, those guys were able to make plays as well. Gardner Johnson at the nickel. It's going to be a good game. I'm telling you, it's going to be a good game. And I know a lot of people are going to be looking at the offensive side of the ball, but whichever defense can make the plays, man, especially that defensive front, I think they're going to walk out with the trophy.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
It's just nice hearing all these draft picks
And
panning out.
Oh my God!
It took a little bit.
Maybe you need to wait a little bit longer.
Maybe.
Yeah, Keon, you know what? Next year might be the year for Elam, man. I'm telling you.
But Elam next year.
For 4 years into is it 4 years?
4 years.
Yeah, year 4, man. You know the talk. It take corners 4 years to.
So that's a Trent McDuffie who's got 2 All-Pros.
I mean, outside of Quinyon Mitchell, who's been great his rookie year.
And Devin I said Devin Singletary. Texans corner.
Derek
Stingley.
Yeah. Those are the exceptions.
Yeah.
They were picked higher than him, so
Right.
They get a grace for.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Grace
Yeah, right. Coming into
McDuffie was only picked 1 ahead of him, but
hey man,
hey, I'm calling it right
one's
now.
enough.
A Pro Bowl season for DeMar Hamlin. Man. I'm calling it right now.
Man, all right. Look, for the Commanders.
As a special teamer, my bad.
Y'all
thought I was talking about safety. No.
There we go.
Absolutely.
All right, so my views, my takes. Because I was tuned in today to hear what social media, what the regular media and everybody was talking about.
Not 59.
Jaden Daniels, top 5?
Huh?
No,
Okay. Top
not
5?
yet, not yet. If I didn't put Stroud in my top 5 last year, I'm not putting him in.
He might be in the conversation.
Yeah, he's a tier 2 guy. Definitely top 10.
The tiers. Jesus.
Tier 2 guy.
Is he a tier 2? Because he only goes to tiers.
Yeah, but
He's a tier 2 guy for you?
I mean, because tier 2 really starts to me after 4. If I was doing them in numbers,
that's what we all
then 1, 2, 3, 4 are over here, and then
Yeah.
it just drops into tier 2.
Yeah,
So conveniently, right?
but that's cool though.
But
He's in the conversation.
For a top 5,
Yeah. I think he's in the conversation. Because I don't think the measuring stick or the bar is not that far from him for what he did this rookie year.
no, I
We've had
understand
that
that.
conversation.
I just think that I need to see him do it again. That's it. Because we
we
saw
did this with
Stroud
Stroud.
kind of have a dip. Now, granted, in the playoffs, he went back to being Stroud, at least against the Chargers. But like, I need to see like a full sample size of a regular season where he's still
When
elevated.
everybody now has a full year to prepare and got a book on you.
Yes.
Let's see what the defense's counters are you, and if you can counter that.
Was Stroud this good as a rookie?
Stroud
Yeah,
was
but
I mean, I know he was good.
I mean, he literally led the NFL in yards per game. So I'm like, that's pretty good.
Stroud was better.
And he had,
got up to in the title game.
well,
Right,
but the path was different because he had to go through Lamar, and at the time, but
and
Lamar's defense that
if he went through if Jaden Daniels went through the Ravens,
remember
last
they
year's
also
Ravens,
got
they would've got
they got whacked by the Ravens in the regular season.
I know, but I'm saying like Jaden went on the road against the #1 seed, which is exactly what
It was a beat up
Stroud did
defense.
last year.
It was a beat up defense.
But you know this lines they can't compare to last year's Ravens.
Yeah.
It would have been a long day for Jaden if he won. That's what we told last week when we were talking about it. I was like, bro, he does benefit from being in the NFC. That he doesn't have to see any of the top 4 that we're talking about. Any of the top 4, and if they have a top defense to go with them being one of the top 4, that's really a tall task for Stroud to try and do as a rookie. So I understand that he made it one game further, and there's no disrespect to that at all. But to me, I was like, because we got to remember, you and me sat right here at the beginning of the year, and we was like, all right, Cordell, you was like, which quarterback gonna get their first pass to TD? Because we was going weeks without any of the rookies getting a passing TD, including Jaden. But Stroud came out firing.
Who did we say?
Huh?
Did we say Jaden?
I thought we said. I thought
I
we
don't know
said Caleb.
I don't know who we said. I may have put money on Bo. I don't really know. But I don't remember who did. But I just remember we were betting on trying to figure out who it was gonna be to get their first passing. But that was never the case with Stroud. Stroud last year we sat here and we said, when's he gonna throw a pick? When's he gonna throw a pick? As long as we've gone with that. Yeah, like everybody was talking about it. And then he did, and then his quote was, yeah, just like Steph Curry, I'm gonna keep shooting. And everybody plastered that all over the TVs, and Stroud just continued doing what he did. So like I'm like I the two of them, I feel like they both had great rookie seasons. And just like I saw Stroud take a step back a little bit with his statistically and just his production with the offense, I feel like that is very plausible to happen.
Especially if Clint Kingsbury leaves.
It's very plausible to happen. And if it does happen, it is okay. Because sophomore slump is a real thing.
The thing is, everybody kind of has it.
Sophomore slumps happen.
Everybody has it. It makes it tougher if
in terms of if you went crazy in that first year, like.
But it does make it tougher if you have a brand new play call, which CJ didn't have.
He did.
But that is the element that to definitely keep an eye on this offseason. If Cliff Kingsbury does leave, what changes? How does that change for everybody else in that committee? Are they just gonna usher in some guy that's already on staff and say, hey, you're in waiting?
If there's somebody who's in waiting, then they're probably going to go with Cliff. Cliff will just be like, oh, yeah, you're going to be my OC. Like, Cliff will just take them with him, most likely, and they'll be fine with it.
So is that worst case scenario for them then? If he leaves?
I don't know about worst
case scenario. I mean, what's worse that can happen? I don't feel like I feel like that's the only negative thing that can actually happen to this team is for them to lose their OC and part of their staff.
Either that or Terry gets injured. Knock on wood.
Do you think they should draft a guy?
No, for sure.
regardless of him being hurt. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
saying,
for sure.
you
I
think
think,
he's
think-
yeah,
another
because
wide
I don't,
receiver?
I don't think with the
As-
firepower that the Eagles have, I don't think that they just go in with just Terry
I think
and
yeah,
feel like
Are you saying with the first pick? Or
the,
with the second?
yes,
first pick.
the
Yeah.
success
So
of
they
No,
the
yeah,
shouldn't
no,
go.
well,
They shouldn't go defense.
actually, yeah,
With all that
actually,
firepower,
no,
you
no,
don't
no,
want to
no, no,
go
no,
and get
no.
us.
Actually, you know what?
no.
They can go with defense on the first pick if the right corner's there.
No.
But because I think there are some wide receivers that can go in the second round that would be good number twos. So yeah, they could.
I'm
But I would try and
my
if
approach.
Buga or somebody was on the board, I'm definitely taking.
My approach is I want to build that young nucleus on offense, and I want to use that free agency money for this offense. I mean this offseason to build up the defense. Yes,
So I
I
gotta
wanna
see
do
what
it.
use
but
of
hold
Dale
on.
I
wants.
wanna-
What if we got T Higgins though? No?
I don't know if I want to.
I don't know if
How much is Terry making? That's
I think
really my
he's
question.
making like 28.
Yeah, and
Because
No.
he got
T's
his
gonna do more than that.
deal. Yeah, he got his deal
I'm
way
I
before.
rather
this
take
new-
that first
You
round
can't do
pick and bring in a guy like Luther Burden, and then take some
If
of
he's
that money
available.
if he's available.
Yeah.
But they're going to have. I rather just build the.
The
young
thing
nucleus
is
on
like
offense.
they're gonna be picking so far
Yeah.
and they're never in this spot.
Yeah.
So I just
I
don't
think
know
they're
how
like
they're
20,
gonna.
28.
No, they're gonna be like
28,
28 or 29.
Yeah.
So I'm just like they're never in this spot. So I'm like I just don't know how they're
Yeah.
gonna handle being this far back when they've
Right.
just never been.
But
It's been so long.
given the success that they have on offense this year, like I think all of us knew that, just to sustain this, like you can't. I'm not going to look at it and say, man, you can build with Zacchaeus as your wide receiver 3, or even De'Ami Brown as your wide receiver
Yeah,
2.
no.
Like they had success in year 1, but a lot of that is because teams didn't have film on what this offense looked like
Right.
with this wide receiving core.
Mhm.
So I feel like going forward, you need to upgrade the talent there. I just want to keep it young all around. Also, adding on that O line. Because if there's a weak link on that team, at least on the offensive side of the ball, it is the O line for sure.
And I honestly thought they did better. I mean, they did better than they did last year. So it was
They
definitely an
overachieved
upgrade. Yeah,
as a
for
unit.
sure. For
Yes.
sure. They give them credit for that.
All right. Well, we have our Super Bowl matchup.
Chiefs Eagles.
Chiefs Eagles. We will get into that conversation next week. We will get to. You want to talk coaches real quick?
Well, I mean, we can. Yeah, I mean, just the Cowboys
Steinheimer?
hiring Brian Schottenheimer.
Yeah, I don't like the hire. Definitely a third or fourth seed in the NFC East at this point.
Jeez,
Sorry to all the Cowboys fans out there.
Yes,
When I
yes.
first saw it, I was like, this is an atrocity.
This is
Like
what is Jerry doing?
now.
I said, who? I said, is he still coaching? That's where
But-
I went. I went to Daddy. I said, he's still.
Yeah.
The daddy
Yo,
dead.
And the
yeah.
thing is- but you know what?
Schottenheimer.
But you know what this made me think though? It's like for him to hire the OC that they already had makes me feel like they definitely wanted McCarthy to come back, but McCarthy was like, I'm not coming back under this short term contract that they want him under. So he didn't go. And I'm just like
I don't.
I felt like they felt like, oh well, we still kind of want continuity, so
I don't care what Jerry Jones put in the public. This type of hire feeds into what everybody says and thinks about him and that franchise. He doesn't care about winning. He doesn't care about having the right people in that locker room to build, to literally build a culture and put some product on the field. He just wants guys that are going to listen to him at the end of the day. No offense to Brian Schottenheimer. But when was the last time you even heard his name being mentioned? As long as he's been an offensive assistant coach in this league, when was the last time you see his name being mentioned for head coaching jobs? It's been a while for a reason. Teams didn't even really look at him because he had time in Seattle as an OC, but if you look back at the numbers, that was during the down years of the Seattle offense under Russell Wilson. Don't like this is just you're getting another yes man. That's exactly what you're getting. You're getting someone that you didn't have to go outside the organization to get, someone who knows what you like and what you want on that field. That's exactly what this is. And if Jerry really wanted to care about winning, he would have done an extensive search. He didn't go anywhere to do this.
yeah. I mean, if I did just Schottenheimer, you're like, well, he was already in the building.
He was already in the building. Already in the building. Like this is just this. I feel bad for Cowboys fans.
And to be honest, like I just think that there are so many other guys that were more deserving Let me not say more deserving, because obviously Schottenheimer put in the time as an OC, but at the end of the day, we know that like time isn't the only thing that helps you get a head coaching job.
Yeah.
It's actually having like the success to go with the time, and I just don't think he had enough recent success to feel like, okay, like this is the time.
Did Ben Johnson interview with them?
No, I don't think so.
I have a problem with that. You didn't even wait.
I mean, he already got the job with the
But I'm
the
saying, like,
Bears
you
by
didn't
the
even
time.
but you made the hire before you. Honestly, in my
No, they
opinion,
didn't make the hire before the Bears.
I think this hire was made before.
I mean, maybe because he's already in the building.
He's already in the
You already
building.
kind of had an
You already
assumption.
had. It was just like the Vrabel thing.
Yeah,
He's good as he's going to be.
like you
his.
just do your okay. Yeah, we
Your
interviewed
due
this guy, this
diligence.
guy, this guy, but
Yeah.
we know who's gonna go.
This is going to be. I feel bad for Cowboys fans. We have to sell this. And as a Cowboys fan, how are you looking at this and saying, yes, we're going in the right direction?
Okay. Well, so of the hires that were made so far, with Pete Carroll going to the Raiders, Schottenheimer with the Cowboys, Aaron Glenn to the Jets, Ben Johnson with the Bears, and who was the last one? Because we're still waiting on Saints, but it was
Vrabel.
oh yeah, Vrabel to the Patriots. Like, which ones do y'all like the best? Or think will work out the best?
Oh man. I don't know if it's going to work out because I already don't like the particular direction he's getting ready to go under center. But I am intrigued by Aaron Glenn in New York with the Jets. I do like that hire. A guy that's again familiar not only with the city, but the fan base, with the organization. He knows that he played with the Jets for a number of years, was a really good underrated corner during his time. But I feel like he's already getting ready to get off to a bad start by possibly bringing back Aaron Rodgers. And I feel like this you're going to give this circus another round again after what has transpired in the last 2 years, and you're going to do it again.
I know we're on two different waves with that one, but I'm okay. But I understand.
What is success?
Shoot, honestly. Hey, look, I'll say stay in the head coach 4 years from now. Like they're still the guy, and there's still like optimism.
Vrabel.
Oh yeah, Vrabel.
If that's what we're going
As
on,
long as he doesn't embarrass the team, he's going to be there for the next 5 years.
To me, it may not be this year. I mean, depending on what they do, the moves that they make, I could easily see them becoming the second best team in the AFC East by next year, depending on what it is that they do with the year. All you need is a couple of pieces. Well, or develop the talent you have.
Yeah, which they have not been able to do.
Right. So if you can develop Polk or Javon Baker, you need one more piece to go with that, and then shore up everything on defense.
And
now, yeah, and now we got something cooking. And I don't feel like that takes a long time to do if you're hitting on your free agency and in the draft. So
I do think I'm intrigued by Glenn.
And Ben Johnson.
I think honestly, for all these guys in year one, Ben has the most pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Even with Schottenheimer being hired in Dallas, I think Ben Johnson has the most pressure. I think the expectations that Liam Cohen has, I don't know if it's the way everything transpired with that is already it's kind of iffy. And then again, as you guys heard me mention before, we may not see it from the outside in terms of that being a playoff roster, but everybody in that building sees it as such. And I feel like his expectations internally within the organization might be on the same level as Ben Johnson's. Because I think Shaq Khan's like, this is a roster that needs to get to the playoffs now. Because I have a quarterback that I'm paying $55 million to. I have a number one pick at edge that I just took a couple years ago, and then another edge that I just extended, and then a corner that I just extended. He looks at this as this needs to be a playoff team. And I don't know if year one is going to get off to that good start for Liam Cohen. And I'm a little concerned about it. I think this may be a situation where that might be one hire of this cycle that kind of goes up in flames the quickest.
I don't trust the Bears. I think Ben Johnson's going to be gone soon.
Really?
Soon?
I think that's going to work simply
2
because
years max.
No,
3
but
if he's lucky.
they gave Eberflus 3 years.
they did.
2
They
years
better
max.
give him
That's what I'm
3.
saying, bro.
3 if 2 years max. 3 if he's lucky.
I think he'll get 3.
This is very pessimistic.
This is
Very
because
much
this
so.
is we keep on seeing the Bears do this, and I'm
No,
like,
even with Nagy was there for a while.
I'm not gonna lie.
The Bears, I think that they keep people for too long.
They didn't pour a ton of resources into that offense when
So,
Nagy was there.
maybe-
Outside of Trubisky,
Maybe my
And Allen Robinson.
maybe it's my negativity, but it ain't been looking good for black head coaches out here in these streets. So I said what I said.
So,
It ain't been looking
But
good.
Ben Johnson isn't black.
Isn't Ben Johnson the black one, or is that Aaron Glenn?
That's Aaron Glenn.
Oh, my bad, dog.
Hey, look. Hey,
I
look.
was like, no,
I'm like, wait.
I'm like, I pictured him in my head. I'm like, yo, that's Ben Johnson, right?
you need to see a picture.
That's what I'm
No,
saying.
I know who. I know. I just mixed them up. My bad.
Hey, I know they both were
My
for the
bad.
Lions, but hey, that's all I'm just like. Say he's definitely gonna get some time.
That's my.
Now, yeah, Aaron Glenn might not be on.
Aaron Glenn, yes.
I don't know. I think Aaron might get a little bit because of the fact
He should because he's an organization.
he's right.
But
He's a
obviously, we
former
just saw with Gerard Mayo what they did with him.
Well, that's different ownership. Maybe I feel
I
like
don't know, but just like
Woody-
pretty trash.
Woody ain't the greatest, right?
Yeah,
Like I feel like this time around he may say, okay, I'm gonna give him some time
hope.
because at least the fan base is like, yo, the fan base loves the hire and it makes
Yeah,
sense. So maybe he comes around. And
He's an up and coming guy that
Right.
people knew. So
Right.
everybody knew that he was one of the
Right.
hotter head coaches. So it just makes sense.
Right, but
He was
highest expectations definitely Ben Johnson for sure.
okay.
If
I honestly
Caleb
think,
doesn't work out, he's gone.
I honestly think it's Pete Carroll, only because like we know it's going to be for a short term, like 3 years max for him. But he's been a guy that's consistently like hired the floor and got programs to be better.
I'll tell you this: between Carroll and Ben, the divisions that they got hired in,
Brutal.
what man?
Brutal.
Good lord!
But the thing about it though, that I think is going to be different, at least for the AFC West, is the teams, or at least with the Chargers and the Broncos, like now the schedules they're going to have to play are going to be harder than what they did this year. So it's like, can they upgrade the talent enough to play with those schedules?
But it's not in that division. It's not just the quarterback, because obviously you can look at it and say, well, quarterbacks in that division is going to stack the odds against you. Look at the type of coaches in that division.
No, that's why
Like
you
you have Andy
all of them have
Reid.
been to a
All of them have a championship at some level in football, whether it's
Yeah.
college, whether it's collegiate or professional.
The only one that doesn't have a Super Bowl is Harbaugh.
It's Harbaugh, but
He has a national championship.
he has a
and
national
been to a
championship.
Super Bowl.
Exactly.
So
So it's like it literally, like just from that aspect, is already tough. Let alone in the NFC North with Ben Johnson. There's a ton of
and they
talent.
took that shot at Matt LaFleur. I was like,
But he said it was banter. They
I
got
mean,
that relationship. This is from what he said. I'm just telling you what the man said.
but
he
still,
asked about.
You
I
know
can't
that's
remember what show he was
you
on.
know that's
when they
all.
asked him
for
about
the first time.
Yes,
But
first
you gotta keep in mind that's the oldest rivalry in the NFL, Packers and Bears. That's already bulletin board material.
And we already know, like Matt LaFleur, like who the and they on a vengeance just because of the way that they lost certain games this season.
Mhm.
It's like, dog, but we only lost to like 3 teams. But they just kept losing to the same team. So they're just like, yeah, nah, like we got to do something about this.
Yeah,
Right.
bro.
I think that's cool because to me I'm like when do you actually hear coaches talk trash to each other?
I mean, no,
It sounds fun to me. That was like okay,
it's fun
I wanna
until you
see-
start losing, and then
Well,
now it's not fun.
Well, your coach don't talk shit.
Nah, that's cool.
to other coaches.
Yeah. He doesn't. He does. No, I say he doesn't. I say he doesn't.
Oh no, I know he doesn't.
he doesn't.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's cool to see like coaches
Is that
have that type of banter.
Is that something you want to see from McDermott?
I'd love to see that from any coach.
Nah, but he doesn't want to see McDermott against Andy Reid because then they just keep losing. Anyway.
Well, no. I would because they have a mentor-mentee type relationship to begin with. Go for it and be like, oh yeah, it's time for the grasshoppers to pat. Like, go ahead and have your little banter.
I guess he ain't done it yet.
He hasn't, but like,
Hey, look,
he's about to say, I'm finally going
Hey, look,
surpass the I'm gonna pass the master.
Hey, this gonna be the year.
This is gonna be the year that the students pass the master.
I mean, you know what? It might be
like
a Nick Saban, Kirby Smart situation where he beat him like 6 times before he finally got the one in the national championship.
No. Finally get that one.
finally got the one.
He happy with that one, huh?
Yeah, then he just kept losing again.
Yeah.
So like, if that,
But he got the one
I would be
counted.
cool. Or even
Or at
if
least one of the ones.
if McDermott and Tomlin want to talk trash to each other, I would be here for it.
Tomlin.
Because they have a they were on the same team, football team, I think,
Well, yeah.
in college or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, like they have relationships too. I'm just talking because the way that Ben Johnson was talking was like they have a relationship.
Yeah, they do.
They have a healthy relationship. So this is
They do.
banter amongst us.
They do.
Cool. So that's why I'm like, Sean McDermott. Who does he have? Andy Reid, Tomlin. Like, yeah, if you have a relationship, a good, healthy relationship outside of football, and you guys want to have that banter and talk a little trash on the mic.
By
all
did y'all
means.
ever see with Gruden and Andy Reid?
No.
There's a, I think it was like on NFL. I want to say maybe it was on films or like something like that. But they were just talking about how they were both on the Packers staff.
Yeah.
Mike
Oh, yeah.
And they were just like, but they were
But
always
Gruden had put a play
play
in, and it worked.
because it was like Andy was all like Holmgren would always use Andy's play.
Yeah.
But like he finally used one of
It's
the
like,
Gruden plays. It's like,
That
yeah,
play
we're
worked.
like,
Yeah.
this
That play won the game for him. That's what it was. Also interesting, man. That Harbaugh Carroll rivalry is renewed now again. Of
Yeah,
course, through their years.
NFC
since-
West.
Yep. So now, man, I'm pretty.
here
That's
for it.
probably gonna get a primetime spot. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know about that.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Chargers, Raiders. The Raiders got
Yeah.
better. The Raiders get better for me to be like.
nah, because it was a good spot.
It'll get a spot.
Just because they
Even a Thursday night.
Oh,
Throw it on Amazon.
Want this?
Throw it on Amazon. Bro.
Monday night. We'll see later on in the season.
Oh, we want that.
And early in the year doubleheader. That game that you put
Oh, the 9:30 one. Oh, okay, all right, good, cool. That's fine. All right, yeah, because Bills Ravens on the other one. Yeah, okay, yeah, we good. All right, cool.
All right. With that being said, thank you all for joining us. Till next time, I think our next episode we're gonna do a little flashback and see where we were wrong.
No,
where
man.
we were right.
Yeah.
You know, have a
Love
little
that.
fun. Have a
No.
little fun banter. on
No,
our
man.
own
I
show.
thought we said we were doing an episode.
It was your idea.
Man,
It's your fault. No,
You came to me with it. So
see, I erased my predictions.
yeah.
I don't remember what I did. I'm sorry. My bad.
So and then
Yeah.
next week we will get ready for the Super Bowl. All right, it's here, and then after that it's a dark era in time, and we'll have to figure out how to bring light to everything.
The draft.
Yeah,
The best part of the
combine.
Yeah,
and the draft.
gotta love the draft.
Draft season's here, baby.
Yeah.
The Senior Bowl has started today. It's the kickoff.
Senior Bowl starters, huh?
Absolutely.
I've been stuck in touch.
Practices in
You had a
Mobile.
lot going on.
Yeah.
All right, well, till next time, I am Cordell.
Marcus.
E-Rob.
Be easy, be breezy, and please take it easy.